breaks your heart to imagine what was going on when the storm came in. Out here in the intersection, everything's gone. Everything.
We have shot a lot of amazing images over the past year, but I don't think anything came close to what happens here in Times Square when it comes to that. This camera right here. I'm going to show you something I've never seen before. I've covered a lot of hurricanes. Right behind me here, there's a transformer up there. Now those things will blow in this incredible pressure.
Can you get through that big muscle there?
Absolutely, Dave. No
Oh,
problem
man.
at all. Here we go. One little poke.
Oh. That's it?
If that's true, voila, I've just created art. There is only one motor to get you up, and to get you down, it's all gravity! It's gonna happen in just about a minute. See all the police here? All right, we're gonna move. They're moving us right now, but the police officers, you're welcome, and they're being polite. They have all the plastic handcuffs lined up here, and they're moving in now. Reverend Al Sharpton and the family members are in the middle of that media gaggle right there.
Now, the Katusha hit about 5 minutes ago. We were probably 600-700 yards away. We're very lucky, by the way. Right there, the wildfire's still burning. You can see it igniting right now. And over here is where we think the Katusha landed. We'll go over here in just a second.
Well, the Champs-Élysées in the heart of Paris. And when it comes to unrest, it really is a tale of two cities. From up here, the scene is absolutely spectacular. This is amazing. By the way, Masada is a half a mile long, a quarter mile wide. The scene from up here, again, you can see everything from the Dead Sea to the mountain ranges here to the west. This is a guard tower under here where all the food was stored, I'm told. This is the North Palace over here. This is the residential community part of the top of Masada. Back 2,000 years, this is where the king slept. Bodies were literally flying over barricades, people being arrested. It was incredibly dangerous. In fact, my photographer, Ofer Cohen, is on his way to the hospital right now. He was, we believe, hit in the ribs. We hope he's okay. I look down, my leg is bleeding right now. Just remember, they spent $50 million on security here.
Raids very early this morning, one at the Gray House behind me here in Center Reach, but also about a half an hour away in Shirley. And that homeowner tells us that he was interviewed by FBI agents for about 5 hours today. And his message to you tonight, hey, I'm no terrorist.
I'm Jody Applegate.
And I'm Dave Barker. Lee and Colleen have the night off tonight. Scenes like the ones you just saw played out at beaches all over the island today. North Carolina is so interesting because normally it's a red state, a lot of conservative folks there. But I heard there was a rally for Barack Obama the other day. 10,000 people showed up, and guess where it was? Right next to Fort Bragg, which is a conservative bastion there. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. Whoa. And how does that make you feel? Should we travel?
I'm Dave Barker with News 12.
How you doing?
We met Mohammed Iqbal. He owns this large house in Shirley and says FBI agents swarmed into the house around 6 a.m. and began to ask him about the Times Square bombing suspect.
Asking me about the guy, you know him anywhere and this and that. You know, I never met him.
It's got to make you feel pretty weird.
Scared me.
Iqbal says he knows nothing about the plot, the suspect, anything. That he owns a car service and drives into the city every day. Is from Pakistan, has been in the U.S. about 15 years legally, and has never been in trouble with the law. He knows nothing about the bombing plot again, thinks he was profiled.
My name is Muhammad Iqbal. That is the profile to me. Is anybody's name with Muhammad, if you change your name tomorrow, I believe they will come ask you the same kind of question.
The house may have been under FBI surveillance. According to a lot of people in the neighborhood here, they've seen, they call them strange cars sitting along the side here with FBI agents inside, they say, over the past 2 days.
It's bull. Excuse my language.
Patty Siska rents an apartment from Iqbal, has known him 6 years, she says.
They're going to start picking everybody around the streets just because they're going to go to everybody that's Pakistan and say, hey, you're a terrorist.
One thing is certain, the FBI raids in both towns stirred up a lot of emotion.
This is crazy. Nothing like this has ever happened.
It's mass confusion. You got how many helicopters in the air? You got how many news vans on the street?
We're doing nothing except stamping on ants rather than going after the nest.
And reaction from the FBI tonight from those charges in Shirley from that man. We reached out, but we got no comment. In Center Reach, Dave Barker, News 12, Long Island. Lee. Sunset and an exodus on Jones Beach. Hundreds trekked to the remote site where a 50,000-pound humpback whale washed up.
I can't get over the size of it. You see it on TV, but you don't realize that it's that big in real life.
I think that everybody's here because they possibly know that this is a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence.
Now let me give you some perspective on just how big this animal is. We're told it's a little bit less than 30 feet long, and it's not even close to full grown. This one is only about 2 years old. Humpbacks, though, can live as long as humans. This one died several days ago. Decomposition was well underway. An animal autopsy or necropsy will be done to try and find out the cause of death.
You don't always find, the end all about this, but we try to get a little as close as we can to finding the answer.
So you may never know.
It depends on what the animal tells us.
They don't believe there's any connection to the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Now this follows the beaching and death of a 6-foot dolphin on nearby Gilgo Beach last week, and the beaching death of another young humpback back in April. A tragic number, but not out of the ordinary for the South Shore.
We recover about 30 whales, dolphins, or porpoises every year.
Once the marine experts are done with the carcass, it will be buried on the beach, leaving behind so many memorable lessons.
I don't know. I guess you just want to see what the whale looks like out of the water, because obviously you don't get a chance to see that often.
Everyone's running out of their house, so it's big news.
On the east end of Jones Beach, Dave Barker, News 12 Long Island.
And a half an hour before we would be instantly catapulted into several potentially deadly situations, rose the Sea of Galilee, where the Bible says Jesus walked upon the waters of the world's lowest freshwater lake. Then
Katusha just hit the hillside.
Where is it? It just landed?
Just landed.
it had begun. The day's reign of the powerful Hezbollah Katusha rocket suddenly ignites. One hits just to the right of our car. We jump out and climb a steep, rocky field already enveloped in flames. Now, after that was recorded,
Whoa. We just heard 2 loud bangs. Not sure if it's artillery or Katusha. They usually say to wait 30 or 60 seconds. That's about how long it's been for it to land. Katushas go at two times the speed of sound.
nothing landed, we saw no smoke, so we headed back to the car. We needed food. Outside a small cafe in Rosh Pina, Katusha's and tragedy strike simultaneously.
What the hell was that?
We first thought a rocket had landed, but then we saw the car of a young soldier on his way to the front, crushed. We were here moments after it happened, the man pinned inside, not breathing. I'm told brain damage would begin in 4 minutes. HD News photographer Bob Turr has emergency medical training and ran to the car while I picked up the camera.
I was able to open his airway. He was not breathing at the time. I put an S-tube in.
After stabilizing the soldier, all the crews began amassing in, ambulance, police, military, and fire. But then, air raid sirens screamed. Katusha's spotted heading towards us. With the young soldier, though, still inside the car, no one moved to shelter. IDF medic Neil Eisenstadt watched, not surprised to see an American news photographer and local emergency responders working together.
Did he save his life?
Absolutely.
From a sea of biblical history to a sea of Katushas to a sea of rescue, it was a day none of us will ever forget. In high definition, Dave Barker, Voom, HD News at the Lebanese border.
Well, how would you like to serve this at your Labor Day picnic? It's one big burger, folks. These chefs in Serbia took 112 pounds of beef and got it grilling. It's all part of an annual barbecue festival. The whole thing with a specially made bun weighed in at about 176 pounds, one hamburger.
They kind of burned it.
Yeah,
they did burn it. They're not saying it's a good hamburger.
50 pounds.
Well, I guess 100 people wanted it well done, so they can eat on that spot.
I wonder what the caloric count of that thing is, or maybe the cholesterol.